Hi, it's Tim, and today I get to unbox the Vig's awesome scooter, the Yrsa, and check this clip out. That's right, it's waterproof. It's actually IP68.
Waterproof?
Let's just tear that in. I'll talk to you a little bit about what that means. It's an IP68, which basically refers to the waterproofing of the actual scooter. And in this case, the actual controller and the battery are IP68, which is really the most important thing on a scooter. So basically, if you live in a climate like I do, where it rains an awful lot in the wintertime or at any time of year, and you're trying to make sure or ensure that you can get from A to B, this is something to look at for sure. But here we go with the unboxing. And I'm gonna be doing a full review of the Yrsa very, very soon. Basically what I do is I wanna shoot it on a really rainy day. I'm gonna get cold because it's cold here in Canada. I'm gonna get cold, I'm gonna get wet, but I wanna show you guys exactly what it means to be able to ride around in the rain on an electric scooter. Something I wish so many other manufacturers could do, but that's just not the case. So inside, I can see right off the bat, we have possibly the nicest looking, legible and clear owner's manual that I've ever seen in an electric scooter. My hat's off to Vig.
Take our hats off.
Their dedication to ensuring things are clear and are easy to read, but also it's in English. It's not like translated into English, and you know what I mean if you've seen other owner manuals. So this is beautiful, full color, very professional. Also on top, we have a few extra things. We've got some springs, some Allen keys. We've got an Allen key tool, which is really handy, and looks like a USB key, USB cord of some kind, and some other bolts and things of that nature in here. I'm gonna put these two items off to the side. Also inside, I'm just gonna tilt this towards my wonderful cameraman here. We've got some styrofoam, which I'm gonna pull off to the side, and more styrofoam on this side, so it's very well packaged. Oh, let's take a look inside here. On this side, I'm gonna show you guys, we've also got a little box. I'm gonna guess that this is the charging brick. Feels like a charging brick. And I'm just gonna invite the cameraman to come across and take a look. It is indeed a camera brick, my gosh. It is indeed a charging brick.
If it looks like a duck and acts like a duck, then it's a duck.
So that's a nice simple charging brick. And as I look at the back, it says it is in fact a 3-amp charger. So that's pretty standard for scooters these days. Love it, nice and quick. It's probably gonna give you like a 5-hour charge time, maybe 6 hours to charge up a scooter of this size. All right, also inside, it looks like we've got, oh, that's unusual. This is the actual handlebars, and it's not attached to the actual scooter. So that's probably why we've got the Allen key and a few screws. So I'm gonna put that aside. Let me just pull all this off and put the plastic to the side. Just gonna quickly show you what's on here. It's got the Rock Bros handle grips, which I love. They're very, very, very professional feeling. They feel so good, especially on the palm of your hand. And it's got the indicators on the ends as well, which once they're charged up, they will charge up and they will be flashing whenever you decide to make those corners. Really handy. Also, it looks like so we've got 2 wires here. I'm assuming these are for the brakes, and also the connection for the to the battery from the actual display up top here. So that's all here. We just get to thread that through in a moment. So I'm gonna lift off here and lift the scooter right out. And nicely packaged, one brand new electric scooter. You know what is really nice with electric scooters like this is that when they show up and they're not scratched at all, that they've been really well protected. This has been in shipping, and there are no dents in the box. There's no damage to the scooter, no scratches on the paint. Love that. All right, let's put that kickstand down. And what I'm also gonna do is I'm just gonna lift up the stem, and it looks like, oh, I see, okay, we've got on here, we have a mirror as well. So I'm presuming that we're gonna be doing this mirror at some point as well. Just gonna pull that out here, put the garbage off to the side, and I'm gonna put the mirror off to the side as well. Now, because it's being shipped and we are in Canada, the metal is really cold, but that's okay. This is the Yrsa. I absolutely love the fact that it's waterproof, but I'm gonna be doing a full review, as I mentioned earlier, very, very soon. Let's just figure out how to put the actual handlebars on here first. And what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take a look and stop the video and actually read the user manual so I do this properly for the first time in a while. The actual cables are, as I mentioned earlier, there are three. There's the one connection between the display and the actual controller, and then there are two others that I need to feed in. These two long metal cables are actually the brake cables. One is longer than the other. The long one is going into the red one here, and I'm just gonna stick that through there. And then the short one goes into the black cable hole, just like that. And basically, I'm just gonna shove that down in there. I've never had to do this before on any other unboxing, but it's actually pretty straightforward. And if that means that I end up with a scooter without any kind of scratches, I'm all for it. And it's just sliding in there, super, super easy. You just want to make sure or ensure that you don't kink any of the cables. You want those cables to go in nice and smoothly. Nothing to force. And then all we're going to do is connect this to this. So I'm now connecting the controller to the display, and you should hear a little click. No click, but it's still clicked in. And so now I'm going to screw this, push this all the way in. Down inside we go, and I'm just going to slide this now on top. And that's it. Voila! As they say in Quebec and France. Perhaps not with my cheesy accent.
And voila!
But now what I'm going to do is put the 4 hex bolts in here. Before I do that, I'm always kind of cheesy. I always like to turn it on. So let's just turn this puppy on and see what happens. Powered up. Oh, that's nice. Man Keel is the display. It's a big display and it's in full color. Wow, I'm really looking forward to trying this out. So now the next step is to go down and just thread through or ensure that the brakes and connect the brakes. So I'm going to go do that next. Let's see you down on the floor. So I've been flipping through and just doing a quick read on how to attach the brakes. As I said, I have never seen this before in an electric scooter, but these are so obvious and easy to figure out. But let me show you exactly how you do it. There is a little hole on the bolt of this particular screw. I'm actually going to unscrew it anyway, just so you can see it. And then all we have to do is put this wire into that hole. But let me just make this really obvious. Oh, my spring went array. It's on a wander. So there's the screw, and there's a little hole in just below the head, and I'm gonna put that now on the actual wire, and then I'm gonna put this behind, take the bolt, and oh, you know what I forgot to do? Oh, shoot, I forgot to put the spring on after talking about it. Spring goes on first, then you put the wire through the bolt, and you put that behind the actual brake. And these are drum brakes, right? So again, I love drum brakes for these types of scooters because they're so easy to maintain. There's very little to work with. There is a little tiny piece of metal that the actual spring's going to sort of sit in. Just tighten that up, and then all I'm going to do is I'm now going to push this up, loosen this off. Well, basically what I'm trying to do here is pull as much of that metal through, and then I'm going to finger tight it up here. Oh, yeah, that worked. And then I will tighten that up nicely. It does come with a little tool here, which looks like, oh, that's nice. And then up here, I'm going to be just testing it and ensuring, oh, they'll be my right, that it works. And it does. And you can see that's working. And if it's not quite enough, then I just loosen this up and just maybe pull a pair of vice grips or push this up a little higher and tighten it up a little bit higher up on the wire. But that's it. Super simple installation. I'm going to go to the back of the scooter now and do the exact same thing on the rear scooter, or on the rear brake. So I've just removed the bolt again. The same thing, it has that hole in it. So I'm just going to, well, first of all, I'm going to grab the spring, which is, no, right here. So I'm going to stick the spring on this time. And then again, that seats right in that little hole there. One thing you want to make sure or ensure is this, that the brake cable itself, that red piping is seated nicely in there. You want to make sure they typically will be, but if it's not, then just put it back in. And you might take a little bit of finicking to get it in position, but let's not worry about that. I'm going to put this now through the hole here. And in fact, I'm actually going to go this way around because I just think it's going to be easier for me. And now that I'm seated, you can see the spring is seated on that little nub of metal. I'm not sure if that's the correct term. I'm now going to screw that down nicely. And again, the same process here. I'm going to go to finger tight and then loosen it up a little bit. And then I'm going to push that all the way forward. And then I'm going to take the little handy dandy tool, make sure that's pulled all the way through, and basically just tighten it up like so. And if that's correct, when I press the left, it should break. And guess what? Even a blind squirrel will find the occasional nut. I've got the 4 screws for the actual handlebar assembly. Now that I know the brakes, everything is good, I'm just gonna screw these in really nice and quick. So the last thing to do is just a simple screw mount for the mirror. And the mirror, of course, just attaches right up on the handlebars as well. Looks like a pretty simple thing to do. I loved the owner manual. I'm not sure if that came across in the video, but this is lovely. The actual wires themselves, although I've never had to do that before in an electric scooter, it was super easy. And the end of the wires actually has a little protective little piece of metal that you can crimp on as well when you're ready to go. So as I mentioned, full review coming up really soon.